All right, let's try this again. I changed the title of this podcast, so hopefully we won't get interrupted this time. So what happens? You learn something every day. Welcome to the Jack Blood podcast here at Deadline Live TV. Please tell people about us. That would be really cool. I'm going to discuss some, I guess, banker stuff today. And let me know if you guys are in. And let's see, because right now it looks like we're okay. I just tried to I tried to upload and go live here a minute ago on our podcast. And I think it was because of the title. You'll see when I start talking about this why the title could have been a problem. I love how, you could just put up anything for a title as clickbait, and then I just put up something that's pretty generic for the most part, that's news today, and that didn't make the cut. We'll talk about why that is here in a minute. Let me just see if I can get some of you guys in. So, those of you who are up in the chat, just say yeah, hell yeah, f yeah. I hear you, Jack. I hear you, man. Let's do that, and then I want to. Cool. All right, man. Let's like go with this then, because that's funny. This is how I'm learning to to do YouTube. Don't put a title up that might embarrass the most important banker in America. So we put up a very, very generic title. It's not going to be much clickbait, but it'll work. I mean, I don't know. You guys love this channel, so it'll be cool. I see Kristen is here. Check this out, Kristen. All right, Kristen helped me start this channel. We just passed 250,000 views on the channel. Right, we're at 251,092 views on the channel. Okay, I mean that seems fairly respectable. It did take us a while to do that, but a lot of it has come recently, and that's what I'm pretty proud of. We have 1,626 subscriptions, so please add to that. I'd like to hit 2,022 subscriptions as soon as possible. That would be awesome. We have a 22,000 and 0.4 view hours. We need more of those. So one thing you can do is just put on videos. You can even turn the sound down, but it'll look like you're listening to. Can we say that? Look into getting into the StreamYard. I have no fucking clue what that is. Okay, I'm old school. You can tell by my camera and the background. I don't have a blue screen. I'm not taking a limo to this podcast. Let's put it that way. Like some people that you guys watch. It's but no, I mean over 250,000 views on this channel. I guess we've done some work, right? I mean, I don't know. Is that something everyone does, or it's just super easy to do? I mean, if I had Ghislaine Maxwell and friends swimming in a pool, I probably have that in one day, right? Oh man, I might have messed up the community standards on that one. Is that how it is? We're not allowed to talk about Ghislaine Maxwell or Jeffrey Epstein, but we mention what they did, and all of a sudden we're in trouble, right? Is that what it is? Okay, cool. That's the report from the front, and we got a lot of cool stuff going on. So I really want you guys to support us and be with us and like and subscribe and do all the stuff that people tell you to do on these channels. You guys, you're probably like me, a little bit of a trained seal. The channels I like, which aren't too many, I definitely try to reward them and support them any way I can. So that's what we need. more good channels and less people taking limousines to their podcast, reading Twitter. You guys know what I mean by all that. So what I was going to talk about today and why I came on, and this has kind of inspired me to get up and do the chat today and do the live podcast, is there's a report. We'll see how long I last doing this. This is what got me in trouble the first time I tried to do this. Jamie Dimon agrees with China. China came out and said that Americans are lazy and incompetent. And Jamie Dimon, if you don't know who he is, and I think, as I said before you heard me the last time, it's Jamie Dimon. They changed their name to be more French. There's truth, and that's in quotations. This is according to the New York Post. There's truth in China's claim that U.S. is incompetent and lazy. Who do you think, where is his bread buttered from? Jamie Dimon thinks there's truth to China's claim that the United States is, quote, incompetent and lazy, though he added it was a mistake to say that America has the short end of the stick. Well, of course, because he's the sharp end of the stick. This gets better. Dimon, whose net worth is pegged by Forbes at $1.5 billion, and that's not counting his hidden money, and it's just hidden in plain view. How they do it is, again, we've talked about this, is tax-exempt foundations and whatnot. He warned of, quote-unquote, storm clouds on the horizon for the U.S. economy, which was up today. Hey, look, the new Biden inflation bill seems to be working, at least for the stock market. They've been on a run for the last week. He predicted that the odds favor either, quote, harder recession or maybe something worse. How about that? Why don't you go invest your money into, quote, a harder recession or maybe something worse? Jamie Dimon has been at the head of J.P. Morgan Chase for over 15 years. He was born into money. Him, his entire family, his parents, this is what we were talking about the other day with nepotism. A better word than bloodline, right? It's just like collusion is a better word than conspiracy. These are legal terms that people understand. Too conspiratorial to be conspiratorial. There are right now thousands and thousands of people in the United States, in the justice system, in the legal system, under and indicted under conspiracy charges. But let's just call it collusion, okay? His entire family are bankers and have worked in the banking industry. And J.P. Morgan Chase, which is a fuse between the Morgan family and the Rockefeller family. Chase Manhattan was a Rockefeller Foundation. If you guys remember, we reported this years ago. Hopefully I'm still on. I don't have my camera up right now, but we'll see what happens. This was a pretty big story that I think was a little bit underwhelming here about 10, 12, 15 years ago, right about the time that JP Morgan hired Jamie Dimon to be their CEO, that they fused with Rockefeller Chase Manhattan, the two families becoming one as a massive investment banking entity that broke so many rules that, thanks to the Clintons, no longer exist. He was, this is according to the New York Post, he made these comments during a freewheeling client call last Tuesday to his clients, to the stockholders, that you weren't supposed to hear. The fact that this is even out, I think, is amazing, and you're probably not going to hear too much about it. I think Fox Business did a very small piece on it and basically agreed with him that we're all lazy and incompetent. We won't work. There's 500,000 jobs or 500,000 jobs or something that we won't take. I know, because after COVID or whatnot, or however we've evolved along our personal paths, that maybe we don't want to go out and be ditch diggers and dishwashers now, working at McDonald's. I've run multi-million-dollar companies, and some of the jobs I've been trying to get are ridiculous. that's why I'm doing this, hoping I can avoid your old pal Jack Blood digging ditches or washing dishes after everything I've accomplished in my life. I mean, I shouldn't have to go backward to that point. Uh, the JP Morgan CEO touched on geopolitical issues, noting that China has serious issues, but that's where the investments are. Whose side is Jamie Dimon on? Is he on China's side or is he on our side? So it's just kind of ironic that China, I mean, depending on who you talk to, basically started the pandemic. We're all suffering from it and massively in debt and hurting pretty bad. And I guess now we're lazy and incompetent. He agrees with China on, which is, and it's really amazing timing. If you've looked at some of my other podcasts, is that China is in a massive banking meltdown. But of course, the leading investment banks in the world, same thing with Saudi Arabia and what have you, they have loaned them so much money that they have to be solvent. China is too big to fail. Do you understand that? Who's paying for those tanks that are going to start shooting the people wanting to get their money back out of Chinese banks, thanks to the massive real estate meltdown going on there right now as we speak that no one in the West is really talking about? The billionaire banking executive who heads Wall Street investment giant, number uno, the real, I mean, forget the president of the company, who's the CEO. JP Morgan Chase made comments during that freewheeling client call to his stockholders. China has serious issues, but Chinese authorities have struggled to get hands on the COVID-19 pandemic as the government has imposed stringent lockdown measures, including factory shutdowns that have exacerbated snarls in the supply chain. Oh, so not only are they responsible for COVID, I'm not, what do they call it? There's always a term. Yeah. I'm not a anti-Sino, or I'm not, you know, I don't know what it is, but I'm not anti-Asia or anti-Chinese. I want the whole world to get along and work together. But yeah, so they have these massive pandemic. If you remember the screams coming out of the condos in Shanghai just low a couple of months ago. Factory shutdowns, but they're not probably going to mention here about their industries are failing. All their banks are failing, massively failing. They had a real estate bubble that would make our subprime meltdown in 2008 look like child's play. It's happening right now, but yet we're lazy and we're incompetent. Autocratic management can work certain things. This is Jamie Dimon. Autocratic management can work in certain things. So he's advocating for autocratic management. And this is what Rockefeller said back in the day. It's China, and this is what George Bush said. I mean, it would be great to be a dictator as long as I'm the dictator. Like China, with their autocratic management, with their autocratic government, can accomplish things that even we can't here in the West. Right, with our democracy. He says it doesn't work in the long run. Well, I mean, it's been working, and they all want that here. And that's what we have here, and don't fall for the illusion. They kind of look at America and say, you've been incompetent and lazy. Quote, there's truth to that, he said. We've screwed up infrastructure. We, not me and you. Jamie Dimon at JP Morgan Chase. We screwed up infrastructure. We've screwed up inner city schools. How did that happen? Because we've been trying to straighten that out. He then added, it's a mistake to say that America has the short end of the stick, because again, he personally has the sharp end of the stick. Last year, alleged President Biden signed into law a $1.85 trillion bipartisan infrastructure measure aimed at upgrading and updating roads, bridges, and transit systems nationwide. That failed. And by the way, you'll never hear this. Trump tried to do the exact same thing. It is the ultimate payoff to your donors. $2 trillion in an era when they were giving trillions away to anyone that had their hand out. They were trying to push that through during COVID. We're going to fix your roads and bridges. Isn't that what they always say? I mean, you're paying taxes, so they fill the potholes so that you have roads to drive on. And don't let me digress, because I can on that severely. And it failed in the same way that the Trump infrastructure, and thank God for that, because we do need help with our infrastructure, and there are ways to do that, and we could do a whole show on that. But just handing over a couple of $1 trillion to Jamie Dimon and others to do it is just not going to work. It's the wrong way. And then all you'll get is, if you remember during the Obama years, they took in $1 trillion or more in this kind of a thing, and you would just see signs up. This is an infrastructure project. I've been trying to get home late at night because I work in bars, so I work late at night. I try to get home, which should be very easy after midnight, but they have reduced our freeway here, I-5, which goes from Mexico to Canada. It's a major highway, one of the most major, other than I-95 maybe, and I-20, one of the most major infrastructure creations ever. And they reduce it down to one lane. You're there for an hour trying to get a few blocks. A massive traffic jam past midnight. This is what they do. And you don't see any work. There's no work going on. None at all. There's no work. It's just signs. Dimon, I need to do his name the French way from now on. He's not alone in his scathing analysis of American work ethic compared to those in China. Tesla CEO Elon Musk said earlier this year, Americans try to avoid going to work at all because we're just so lazy. We don't want to work. As opposed to Chinese workers who won't just be burning the midnight oil, but will be burning the 3 a.m. oil. I mean, wouldn't that be great for Elon Musk and for Jamie Dimon to just have people working 24 hours a day? Isn't that what we changed and fixed here? Isn't that one of the better things about living in this country? That you could choose where you work, the hours that you work, that there are certain rules. I mean, listen, man, if you live in Europe, and please weigh in, you guys, I'll be reading your comments here in a minute. I mean, 4-day work weeks, a month of paid vacation, maybe that would be cool. And this is what they're bitching about, Elon Musk and Jamie Dimon. Sorry, I know you guys love Elon Musk and everything right now, but we're not going to work till 3 a.m. And that's the great thing about the Chinese. They're not lazy and incompetent like us. Yeah, and how much are they getting paid to do that? And what? See, you need to understand this. What are they giving up? They get paid almost nothing. They have to have suicide nets outside their factories so people just don't jump out the window and kill themselves. You have absolutely no choice, because either you live out in the sticks and you don't make any money and you try to grow some rice and barely put food on your family, or you go and work for $3 an hour. And I know all the CEOs of this country and in the West in general are fairly jealous about that, which is why, China is most favored nation, and why Rockefeller and others, just dream about the day that they can be China. That's what they're not going to say in the mainstream media, and they're not even going to do this story. The banking chief, that is Jamie Dimon, added that the U.S. needs to mimic China in taking a leadership position. You see what China is doing in Africa and Asia. We need to do that too. Where did they learn how to do that? And South America, I might add, because they are our main economic adversaries in all of these places. and it's war. They'll come with machine guns. They don't follow any kind of rules. You got a gold claim or something, or a diamond claim, or some kind of resource claim, and maybe you're an ethical person, and you're putting money back into kind of a fair trade issue with an African country or a South American country, or maybe you're importing coffee or whatever it is, pineapples and bananas. Um, you know, the Chinese have learned just to come in with machine guns and just take your claim and shoot anyone that disagrees with that. So I guess that is the ideal economic system that these guys have been jealous of for, I don't know, the last 60 years. In recent years, China's been throwing its financial weight around the globe, particularly in developing countries like Africa, and that's the war. The truth is that Africa isn't poor. They just don't have good representation. They're just not. It's just too easy to get a dictator and sell out. It's too easy to buy a dictator. I mean, you look at what's been going on with the votes in Congo, Kenya, all over Africa. What's going on with the West threatening Africa right now with go along with our Ukraine decision, our proxy war with Russia, or we'll cut you out and you won't get aid. You read Confessions of an Economic Hitman, and you realize, why countries are subservient to banks and not to the United States, not to the American way of living, not to freedom, not to anything that you guys would care about. And it's not that we want to bring them up to where we're at. They want to bring us down to where they're at. Are you okay with that? America's had it too good for too long. Are you okay with that? Because I'm not okay with that. No, I feel pretty fortunate, Lucky Sperm Club, to have been born here in the United States, and I'm the son of immigrants, basically, for the most part. My clan came from Ireland and from Canada. My ancestors went and all worked in Alaska and worked their way down, and that's how I ended up here in the Pacific Northwest, the PNW. Are you okay now with that? I mean, why don't you work till 3 a.m? You see, you're lazy. Oh, you want to go home at 5 o'clock and go have a cocktail and go watch Netflix, and then get up at 6 a.m. and go to work for 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week. Oh, you're just lazy. That's what it is. And you won't take the crappy jobs that are being offered right now, because I'm out. I'm looking for work. I'm one of those people looking for work. I had a job. I had a really good job. Okay. I worked my way up into management before COVID. And so did my wife, who I have not seen for 4 months now because of this. Next thing I know, I'm $10,000 in debt. I mean, I was doing pretty good. And I worked pretty hard and literally put my life on the line, because I worked in club security, and, and life is crazy. I'd have to fight several times a week, and, never know if someone's going to put a gun in my face or stab me, but that's okay. I worked up into management to where I had a crew underneath me. And at this point, I'd probably be running a club that had 1,000 covers a night. I mean, I'd make some pretty decent money. I wouldn't be here asking you guys for money, because I'd be doing that. But I guess I'm just lazy and incompetent. I guess that's what it is. I ran a multi-million-dollar radio network. I literally worked my way up from getting a desk to becoming a producer, to an executive producer, to vice president of a company that was worth $15 million, and today it would be worth $40 or $50 million, 50,000 watt radio stations. I gave that up so I could, tell the truth to people, which was my decision to make, and because I'm lazy and incompetent, according to Jamie Dimon. It just pisses me off. It really pisses me off. And then what was it that your transportation, Pete Buttigieg, what was that guy saying? Well, you just all need to learn to code. Well, I learned to code. You got to learn to keep coding all the time. Like, I can become a lawyer. I can get a license to be a lawyer or a doctor, and I know I got to keep up with some of the stuff, but it's not like that's what we're supposed to be doing. You know, America will be the land that makes nothing, that produces nothing, that has nothing, and we all are bankers. We, you know, hey man. So here's what I'm thinking. I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and apply to J.P. Morgan Chase. I mean, I'll have a decent resume. I know I'm a little old and whatever, but bring me in there. Bring me in there right now and help me rip off old ladies and people of their retirement funds. And oh, that's right, I can't. I couldn't live with myself doing that. Is that what you mean, Jamie? China, this we've just been hearing this so long. China's the perfect country because they just tell everyone what to do, and if you don't do it, they kill you. Is that the translation here? Because Viva America, man, don't do that. Why? I mean, we're supposed to be the shining light on the city on the hill, as Reagan said, or whatever. I mean, are we supposed to be examples for people for freedom and democracy and all the bullshit they sell you? Is that what we're supposed to be doing? Because I don't see too much reward in that business. I'm in that business, and I don't see shit. Good luck with that. I can totally understand why some of you just go, you know, if you don't outbid the Chinese or Bill Gates or whatever for a little piece of land that you can just go live on, man, then go do that. I mean, you should be doing that. Not joining the workforce and working till 3 a.m. in the morning, working 15-hour days, 7 days a week. I mean, is that what we're going to come back to? Is that the American dream? Because that's not the American dream. That's the American nightmare. And I thought we beat that. I thought we had won that war. But of course, now since COVID, it's the Great Reset. Okay, I said it. This is getting me banned on YouTube. They admitted it. It is a great reset, and we're just lazy and incompetent, according to Jamie Dimon. Do I seem a little upset? I'm an entrepreneur. This is my channel. This is what I do. This is how I'm going to exist. If I can't do it, then that's just how it goes, man. I'm willing to put my money where my mouth is. I'm willing to put my time into it. So I may do this hour-long, live podcast on this channel, but the rest of the time I'm studying, I'm learning, I'm contemplating, philosophy, better forms of life, and how we can take this country back. Does that count? Am I lazy and incompetent? Really? Because I'll tell you what, Jamie Dimon, I'll make this offer to you right now, Jamie Dimon. Come on this show and let me ask you some questions, and let's see who's incompetent. I wasn't born into a banking family. I didn't get to go to Yale and all the best schools and then just instantly be propelled into Wall Street. And I have a conscience, so I couldn't rip off people for their life savings, and I couldn't use capital wealth to go wreck entire countries and continents. My bad. So yeah, why don't you come on this show? Why don't you go on any show? The CEO of America. Why don't you, forget the soap selling face of the company, the president of the company, who's just usually some lackey who is appointed there because he knew somebody. Let's get the CEO on. Let's get him on some station. I mean, go on Joe Rogan or something. I don't know. Get on some station and let somebody ask you some serious fucking questions, man, about your ethics, your business morals. about what you do, what your daily routine is, because you're such a hard worker and, you've been successful, right? Must be nice to, talk about Lucky Sperm Club. That must be nice to just go ahead, get born, go to Yale, and just fall upward the entire way. And by fall upward, I mean fall upward. Look into JP Morgan Chase. How many billions of dollars did they lose? Did they rip off? Were they punished for ripping off? Like, if that was you and me, they'd hang us in the town square. You don't get to preach to us from up on high, from your penthouse in New York. You don't get to do that, man. Go trade lives with me for a week. Look, it's like, I know people, you guys love Trump and everything, and I don't give a fuck about that, but here's a guy that, got so much money from his dad and went to all the right schools and stuff. He literally could have not made any investment and made more money than the actual investments he made. Let me have that. Give me that shot. I don't know. I never had that opportunity. My dad went to prison when I was 3 years old for pot. This is the life I got, and I'm making the most of it, and I'm not bitching about it. But I'm not lazy, and I'm not incompetent, and neither are you. You wanna like find out. This is what Henry Ford said. I know he was lambasted long after and then rehabilitated through the Ford Foundation and whatnot. But what did he say? If you knew how the financial system worked in this country, you'd be up with torches and pitchforks by morning. And are we so distracted? Are we so into, our streaming, and maybe we are lazy and incompetent? I don't know. I just think our priorities are fucked up. That's really what it is. We have bad priorities. And why do we have bad priorities? Because we're constantly being inundated and told, what is not lazy, what is not incompetent, And this country's being turned into China. Nothing against. I'm not, the word I was looking for is phobic earlier. I'm not genophobic, right? I love my Asian brothers and sisters. Look, man, you did it before we did it. You have thousands of years. We've got hundreds of years. But, man, if you think it would work smoother for all involved, the nepotismos, the bloodlines running this country, it would be easier for them to not have rule of laws. And even though all laws are selectively enforced and political in nature, they have that too. The lawyer New World Order, as one of our friends said on the last podcast, we're people too. This country is our country too. We have a birthright in this country, and I don't want to turn it into a totalitarian nightmare. I don't want a Gestapo as the FBI. I don't want to have to be accountable to the quote-unquote community for everything I say. I don't want to have to learn newspeak in order to have a conversation. I've studied history and philosophy and politics and, you name it. Banking, this, that, the other thing. I'll have a conversation with any of you that want to turn this country into China or turn it into Russia or whatever it is, man. This is our birthright. This is our birthright. Are we going to fight for our birthright? I am. I don't care. I got nothing to lose now, right? Nothing. So it just pisses me off, and Jamie Dimon has been on my radar for a very long time, and just to have him come out and say this shit, very upsetting to me. As you can see, I'm a little pissed off. Who out there is going to go out and write thousands of letters and boycott JP Morgan Chase? No. I mean, we're just not. Apparently that's not. Maybe we are lazy and incompetent then. Maybe he's right, at least on that level. Distracted, working. I mean, just to get your phone to work and just to watch this podcast, how many little dances do you have to do? Just for me to do this podcast, it's insane. I gotta jump through a bunch of hoops, and we'll see if this even stays up after what I've been saying. I mean, I'm probably gonna lose my channel today. I don't know. We just hit 250,000 views today or this week, and that's probably it. C'est la vie. Love you guys too. Thanks, Hot Cheddar. Kristen is here. Love you. Barack Blues. I love that. Yeah. 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 Fuck yeah. Sorry for the language. That's why this isn't for kids. Looking into getting StreamYard. Okay, we went back there. Take a limo to listen to your podcast. That's what I've been saying for a while, and why I started getting back into this. I watch these dudes. It's like they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They're not giving you any background. It's barely 90 degrees, let alone 180 degrees, let alone 360 degrees. And, they take private cars and limos and own houses and stuff for their... Like, what's up with that? Okay, cool. Good for you. I'm not against anyone's success. I'm down with it. But the people I know that know stuff, that really know stuff, I mean, where are they? The people that paid their dues, where are they? Because I know when I started out doing this, the first thing I did was homage to the people that came before me and learn what they knew. We're not even doing that anymore. Hot Cheddar says he takes a limo to listen to this podcast. Good for you, man. Is Jamie Dimon a Zionist? No, he something above Zionism that's way above it. If he's Jewish, he's crypto-Jewish, but who cares? He's crypto-Greek is what, I don't know, that's what Wikipedia says. But he hides behind that. Wouldn't it be funny? I think this is true. Wouldn't it be funny if he's not Jewish, but hiding behind being a Jewish banker so we can't criticize him? Would that be? Now I've definitely offended community standards. I mean, I'm just asking the question. Because that's, hey, man, I've ripped off everybody in the Western world and don't say anything about it because I might be Jewish. I don't think he is. But he's a nepotismo, born into it. Was designated to be him and his brothers, who runs American Express or whatever. His brother runs American Express, or did. I mean, you look into this stuff. It's, man, this is way too coincidental to be coincidental. I guess you guys are not lazy and not incompetent because everyone in your family is just super successful. I want to know what he does on a daily basis. Whoa! Kaz Graphics, my man. God, long time no see. Hi, buddy. Great artist. Okay, we need some. Hey, Charles, we need some artwork. Hit me up on the back channel. Great artist. I sent you 9/11 and PayPal just now. Nice. Will you guys do that? Because I'm about to get disconnected and be homeless. I don't know, man. I'd like to say I'm super. Nothing succeeds like success, right? You guys are going to keep us going, and I'm not just talking about this channel. This is my life, It's my life. I haven't seen my woman and my son in 4 months. Up until now, in 23 years, we haven't been apart for more than 2 weeks. Man, it's hard, and that's because of COVID. I sent them someplace where they would be okay, but they're not loving it, and I want them back here with me. I got this house for them. It's a pretty cool house. I'll give you guys a tour at some point. I'd like to keep the house. I'd like to keep going with what we're doing because I think it's going to be important and I think we're going to snowball, right? But we've got to get through this one point. So please, yeah, thank you, Baroque Blues, man. Thank you, man. Thank you for the $9.11, man. Like, how about if everybody on this podcast does that right now? jackblood@hotmail.com, PayPal, or Zelle. How about if you just do that now as a token of your love, okay? Because you agree with what I'm saying or don't agree with it or just want to keep hearing what people like me say. How about that? If you just do that, you know? Because we don't have super chat. Um, you know, we're not monetized here. You know, I'm trying to monetize us and give you guys value for value on a bunch of different levels. And I'm coming through with that. That's going to happen, but I gotta exist. I gotta stay around, man. You guys gotta keep me around, and I need it. And we're on a huge fundraising. That's not why I'm doing this video. I'm doing because I'm pissed. But you know, we're not doing this for money. I just don't want to pay money to do it. It's kind of where I've always been at with that. I'm still on. Woohoo! We'll see. Yeah, we'll see if that keeps going. Diamond is on his own side. Well, no, I mean, he might be the CEO of America above the president and runs everything in this country and in several other countries, but he's still insecure because he knows he's low level comparatively, right? I mean, you take the most successful look at Trump, man. No offense, man, but that guy's got some insecurity issues that go way back. You want to be them? You know, I don't, man. I'm happy being me. I just don't want to be kicked around anymore. And I think you guys feel the same way. Like, just stop kicking us around. You know, stop insulting us. Stop insulting our intelligence. Okay? Stop undermining us and stop trying to keep us down. Stop punching down at us. I mean, and as soon as we just say, no, I'm not taking this anymore, then it'll happen. Then we'll be there. You know, and I've seen this. I've seen us on the cusp of this, and then bam, it's taken over. It's infiltrated and taken over. And then we just go home with our tail between our legs. I mean, you know, I'm not talking about like violence or any of that. Just say no to it. Just vote with your money and say no to it. You have stocks with JP Morgan Chase, like sell that shit because they're going to take it all. Like, I know a lot of people with 401ks and they've been getting killed this last year. How would you like it if you sold that a year ago and you'd have 40% more wealth? Oh, how's that working out for you? You know about the plunge protection team and all this shit that they do? This new inflation bill that has got, you know, the capitalists, no offense against capitalism, but, you know, it's got the brotherhood all excited, buying stocks again. And, you know, I mean, that's what's behind that. That's why it's up 400 today. Has nothing to do with we're recovering in this country. No, I mean, we are far from that. Far from that, and it's coming. I mean, what did I just read you from Jamie Dimon? What did he just say? Jamie Dimon. Jamie Dimon. Oui. We're fucked. It's coming. It's coming hard. Just sell all that shit then and put it into something else, not Bitcoin. Put it into yourself. Put it into things that you believe in, and at least you die swinging. Do I use an old school mic on my radio show? Man, I don't even use a mic on this one. On my radio show, I actually do use an old school headset. Remember, I was one of the first guys that had the $500 mic and makes you sound like a radio man. But I don't give a fuck. Who cares? It's not how you sound, it's what you say. I'm going to go with that. Keep my show going on the Shhhh network. We have decided to do that because we asked people to write us if they wanted us to stay on there, and a bunch of you did. I was actually surprised. I know we get thousands of downloads on that, and I just wanted to see if that was true. And I wasn't an idle threat. I really don't like doing a time show. That's hard to do unless someone's paying you for that. You know, it's like a job. I got to go show up on time and everything and book guests and put it all together. And but so many people wrote us that we're going to keep doing that. And I love Chuck and I love the Shhhh network, and you guys should support them as well. Everybody over there. Sup, Rick. Sup, Rick. Good to hear you, man. Good to see you. Kristen is stuck in Canada. No, you're not. Come on. Come on, Kristen. We'll smuggle you over the border, babe. Gretzky Jordan. Oh, I love that handle. Nice. Double Goat. Let's just call you Double Goat. Oh, no, it's Gretzky Jordan Tiger. Triple Goat. My bad. I'm incompetent. I can't count. I can't count goats. No. It's not like that. But I know there's some, yeah, I get it. I love that irony. I'm coming back and watching this stream. Jack Blood was one of the real ones around 9/11. I was one of the first. In fact, I was on the air the day of 9/11 on a 50,000 watt radio station 2 hours from New York City. Oh, the stuff we were saying that day. Even my own father condemned me for that. Yep. And then I went and put my life on the line for 9/11 truth. And I'm still doing it because it's the truth. It's worth it. Was. I don't know what that is. Pat Moriarty. Here's it. Pat Moriarty is here. Here's your shirt, Pat. Thank you for all the shirts. This one is, it's kind of hot here today. This one's pretty sweaty. All right. Commercial for Wicked Red right there. Go buy Wicked Red. And Pat, we're using your Jack Blood Show logo for very, very limited edition Pat Moriarty shirts. So that's what happens when you give me art. I've been working from home since COVID. I know, me too. If I work until 3 a.m., I won't have time to drink. Oh, there's an arrow. Let me get that. That sounds very important. Well, let's just leave it at drink. I know. Well, you guys know why Prohibition came about, right? I mean, besides the fact that alcohol could be capitalized on, and the usual suspects and the same people who are creating this fentanyl crisis, which is just pissing me off to no end. Boy, I would love to tell you what I know about that, but I've been warned not to. I don't know. Maybe I'll just fuck it. I'll just do it anyway. No, why Prohibition came out in 1920 was because factory workers that worked 7 days a week, 12 hours a day, and couldn't drink. They couldn't trust drinking the water, so they drank alcohol. People, I mean, they still do this in some countries. That the water's so just tepid and horrible that you can only drink alcohol. You can only trust the. Well, I mean, that's the excuse. And if you look back in history, that and women who were frustrated, I guess. I don't know. That's what they say. If you look back in the days before unions and before the 40-hour work week and all the rest of it, and before, actual plumbing and clean pipes and drinkable water. Oh, whoa, those were the days. No longer do we have drinkable water. So I guess that's what we're going back to. That's my excuse. That's why I drink beer. No. Well, that worked out for me, right? Old school Mike. Yes, we went back there. Let me come out, try to catch up with you guys. Thank you so much for being with me today. It looks like we're growing a little bit on this live podcast, so I'm super happy about that. As I mentioned, we hit a major milestone on this channel today, over 250,000 views. Please hit your like and hit your subscribe, hit your notification. And because I don't really have, I'm right now still with 50 days left on Facebook. I can't really do anything there that's of note, and I barely even post there anymore. I've got another 50 days before they let me off the hook. We need promotion. We need you to tell people about us. So I don't know if I don't embarrass you too much, like share us with your people. That would be super cool. Let's see here. I got to catch up with you guys and try to figure it out. Can I talk more about my philosophy? Oh, man. Do a whole philosophy show? You guys think Jordan Peterson has philosophy? You're mine. I studied most of the great philosophers by the time I was 18. That's how I grew up, and you may not like it, but I will. I will do that. Not today. I will do that, man. Thank you, Cheddar. What does Jamie Dimon want with Detroit? Well, what they do is it's kind of under the banner of order out of chaos. They can wreck a town and then go in, buy cheap, and rebuild it. I mean, it's just the oldest scam in the book. This is with Gio Griffin and all the experts in money, and Ron Paul and others would tell you about, contracting and inflating the money supply. If you know that's happening, I mean, just watch It's a Wonderful Life and what Potter does. Everyone's panicking and he's buying low. Well, if you can wreck Detroit, you can go in, because I have a lot of friends. Some of my friends, if you guys are in Detroit, let me know. Because I have a lot of friends there who are doing very well. I mean, it is the whole enchilada, baby. It is the scam, right? It's the scam. You're near Detroit. Look up my friends at speedcult.com. Go hook up with them and tell them Jack Blood sent you. My lighting is better today? Oh, okay. It might just be me. What? I bring my own lighting. Silver and salt. Have you guys noticed how gold, it just about hit 2,000? Not long after the Bitcoin, the crypto meltdown, and gold started going way up, and it hit 2,000, and now it's at 1,800. I think it was down today by $7. I don't know, man. Coin of the realm. Coin of the realm is knowledge. Killer Drums 2010. All right, you're new. Cool. Good to have you here. Really appreciate you being here, man. Really, I hope you keep coming back and tell people about us. I've seen it lately changing fast between him and the WEF and Dan Gilbert. What the fuck is going on? Can't afford to live there anymore. All my neighborhoods are no longer for artists and musicians. I know, because you go in, trust me. You know how many times I've done this and how many cities I've done this? You go in and fight the fight and live as an artist, musician, community. And then once you make it safe for people, let's call them white people. I don't know, man, but Once you do that, and then the Whole Foods moves in, it's gentrified, and you get the hell out of there. Like, I got sick of doing that at some point. Honestly, like, I live in a yuppie neighborhood now, but we have the only punk rock house in this yuppie neighborhood. Most of my neighbors are pretty nice to me because they're afraid of us, you know. And the robbers and the burglars and whatnot are afraid of us, my dog, and all the rest of it. I mean, we stick out like a sore thumb here, but I live a half block away from one of the biggest parks in Seattle, and it's to me, this is the good life. But see, I don't need that much. I don't need to live in a penthouse in New York City and have homes all over the world. I never needed that much, and I don't care about that. But yeah, I mean, you were used, artists and musicians and whatnot, who go in and get cheap rent and go have to live in a very diversified neighborhood. Let me put it that way. Am I allowed to say that? And does the community standards cover that? I mean, you go in and you make friends, and wow, you should be running the world because you just literally become the United Nations of that neighborhood and done it way better than the United Nations will ever do it. You made friends there. You made it safe for people. And the next thing you know, man, gentrification, boom, bye, see you later. Get the fuck out. I know. Stop swearing. Dan Gilbert. Corktown's ruined, oldest neighborhood in America gentrified. Yeah, man. Well, I've seen some documentaries on this, and I used to know the owners of the real, not before Amahole took them over, the owners of the real Whole Foods. I don't think this was really their project, but now it is. You could take neighborhoods that are historic, where some of the greatest things have ever happened, put a Whole Foods in that neighborhood, and it's over. Bye. Once you see that, man, get the hell out of there. Hey, there you are, Mac. What's up, Mac to Illy? Hey, man, he's got a channel and did some really cool shit, and took a little piece of what we did on the last podcast and is paying it forward and spinning it out there. Very cool, man. My new painting is titled Circular Logic, LAW. Man, you got a thing with the law, huh? All laws are selectively enforced and political in nature. Therefore, what good are they? That's why the answer is decentralize and repeal. Love to see Rand Paul or somebody else say that. I don't know. I think back in the days when I used to do events with Rand Paul, Senator Rand Paul, we used to do events together. We did a 9/11 event together. That's what he was saying. And that's what I still say. I guess I need to evolve into, because I think Rand Paul might agree with Jamie Dimon. I don't know. Should I say that? That now I'm going to make people mad at me, but he thinks we're greedy and lazy too. We can't afford it. We cannot afford to help people who have been ruined by the federal government and the bankers. We can't afford it. We just can't afford it anymore. We'll have to print more money. See, and this is, and talking about philosophy. You want to talk about philosophy? This is political philosophy. Austerity should start at the top. End corporate welfare, and then we'll talk about helping people. Let's do that first. Rainwater is no longer drinkable. Yeah, since acid rain. I mean, how long is it? You can filter it. Do you know, Kristen, you probably know this because you've been listening to this show for a decade or more. Some states and cities, they'll make it illegal to collect rainwater because the runoff goes and someone else has already paid for it. Whether it's a bottled water company or somebody has the rights to the water that falls on your land. Yeah, I mean, is that where we're at? Property taxes, you don't own your rainwater. I mean, how much farther is this going to go before we just say enough is enough? I mean, I guess we're very preoccupied. Jeff X Dog 777 007. He said, if I work until 3 a.m., I won't have time to drink my $10 Starbucks coffee. See, that was blocked. I boycott Starbucks because of what they did to the Seattle Supersonics. Yeah. Friends don't let friends go to Starbucks. Bingo. You are the winner of today's chat. I bestow on you Jeff X Dog 007. Thank you for rewriting that all in caps. I needed to see that, and sorry, I'm not used to reading chats while I do this, and I'm not even used to doing this. I'm kind of new to some of this, so forgive me if I don't get the hang of it. I'm going to read that again. If I work till 3 a.m., I won't have time to drink my $10 Starbucks coffee. Friends don't let friends go to Starbucks. Bravo. Please don't give them 1 cent of your money. In fact, if you're so compelled, go out in front of a Starbucks and tell everybody what pieces of shit they are. I like coffee. I call crypto tulips uncover. That's Kristen. Yeah, I know. Wasn't I the first that did that? I don't know. Remember the whole tulip, the Dutch tulip craze? Because it will crash when tulips were once the price of a house. There's nothing backing that economic bubble. Confidence. Well, I mean, say the same thing about FRNs. The US dollar is maybe even more fraudulent than crypto. I mean, that's why I can't really say shit about it. It's faith-based. I was just thinking the other day about how FDR confiscated all the gold. Good for him. We needed to take that away. They'd break into your house and come with a SWAT team like you were Donald Trump and just take all your gold. You had to declare it. Just fighting the Nazis. Give us your gold now. MFs, give us your gold now. And then you guys remember Bretton Woods and what Nixon did, taking us off the gold standard. I mean, I don't know. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. All I'm saying is you want to beat the Federal Reserve, I can do it for you right now. Maybe Trump, if he becomes president again, he'll listen to someone like me. I could do it right now. Congress coins the money. That's in the effing Constitution, that Congress coins the money. Now, of course, you'd have to have term limits because that would be politicized like everything else. So you have to kind of follow it up with that. You might lose the 2 people in Congress that are doing any good. I mean, I don't think that's going to be a problem. Do you guys see Tulsi Gabbard hosted in an completely unrelated topic? Tulsi Gabbard hosted the Tucker Carlson show while he was on vacation a few days ago. That more calls for her being a traitor. You're a traitor if you host a news show. That's where we're at. Oh, I've been called a traitor too. Yeah. You know, I wasn't a congresswoman or anything. Tulsi Gabbard's another person I'd like to get in a room for like an hour. There's so much I could help her with. Yeah, crypto. I don't know. I mean, crypto, USD. What's the difference? We're doing the show. I'm hoping that on this Thursday show on the Acheli Network, we're going to be doing a show on Anarchapulco, which is it's this whole like anarcho-capitalism thing. And there's a new documentary. There's a lot of stuff. You can go on YouTube and find all kinds of stuff on them and listen to them. And a lot of our friends, Catherine Bleish, John Bush, others, are involved in that. A lot of people from Texas. And I always loved that. Before that, it was Costa Rica. There's always a place, where people are going to go and have some kind of utopia. There is no utopia, of course, and that's what they found out in Anarchapulco because, it's very dangerous and some people got shot and killed. And then it's a lot of follow the leader stuff, and it's based on investing in cryptocurrency and Jeff Berwick and stuff like that. I put in an interview request for him, a bunch of people over there, and I kind of want to get to the bottom of that. And I think the utopia is where you're at. You can make it not utopia, but not as bad anyway. Okay, I'm going to try to wrap this up here. If you guys have any comments, this is the time to get them. We'll put you guys in here as I just wrap up. I know I've been talking for how long now? 1 hour and 5 minutes and 8 seconds. That's about right. I don't know. Am I not making sense? Stop making sense, Jack. How many of you know that everyone in Talking Heads but David Byrne, their parents were generals in the military? RISD kids. Now, I married my first wife was a RISD kid. It's the most exclusive art school. It's like the Harvard or Yale of art schools. So I knew a lot of those people. It's funny when you look into a lot of the bands you like, how many, like Jim Morrison's dad was the admiral that was involved in Gulf of Tonkin, etc. How about that for a coincidence? It's weird when you find out like all your favorite actors and musicians or whatever are super connected to the nepotismo. Not bloodline. That would be crazy tinfoil hat stuff. It's nepotism. All right. It's not a conspiracy. It's collusion. Let's just get the newspeak right here so people won't be offended to what we say. Decentralization is crucial. I know. And decentralize down to the smallest area that you have a say in, right? That's really what this country was based on. We'll get into that another time. But repeal, because all laws are selectively enforced and political in nature, which I guess is Trump figured that out now. Trump is the guy that said he won't plead the fifth because that's just for mafia people. But then he pled the fifth. That's a problem when you talk a lot of shit. You can, that stuff can come back to haunt you. Yeah, they do record stuff like that. That no one, this is Trump's words in 2016, no one should have classified documents. Now, I don't know what he had in his house. I'm not falling to this whole cry wolf thing. I am not going down that road, man. Let me see what you really got and what the case really is before I have an opinion, because it's pretty much all crying wolf. But let's say he did have classified documents. Well, he's the one that said you're not supposed to have those. His words, not mine. NFTs are stupid. I know. Well, NFTs are, yeah. I mean, but it's blockchain. And so that brings us back to where we started. Jamie Dimon wanted to develop blockchain technology for the entire world, and they have nursed you on it. You've been nursed on it. Non-fungible tokens, blockchain technology. You've been nursed on it now. You've gotten used to it. A whole generation now has come up on it. And that's what they're saying at JP Morgan Chase, that they will use blockchain for money all around the world. And then, of course, you've got the Bill Gates issue where that will be chipped in you. And then you have the other issues where, and I'm not going to mention any names because I'll make people mad, but if I haven't made you mad already, chances are I have. But your bank will get cut off. They cut your bank off right now if you have the wrong opinion and you're redressing your grievances, also known as protesting. If you're on the wrong side of things. So yeah, let's go there. I know all the big names, military back. I mean, look into your favorite actors and your favorite musicians, especially musicians. Man, artists. Well, because there used to be a time when artists would come from rich families because they're the idle rich, and they're able to spend the time doing art. There are such a thing as starving artists. I'm one of them. Please help us now. And I don't mind going to the food bank. I actually volunteer at the food bank. Okay. I could tell you that the food that people have been donating at food banks have gone down severely since the Biden era. The compassionate Democrats. Back during Trump, I mean, you go to the food bank and get steak. I'm just saying, it's probably a coincidence. I'm not saying that was Trump's doing by far, because he probably thinks anyone goes to the food bank is lazy and incompetent. But I think we brought it all the way around. Military brats. I mean, I don't have anything against the military. I honestly, I don't. You gotta have it, but not in 170 countries. Not sacrificing our children for the drug trails. Okay. China has the social credit system, I know. How are you doing on that, babe? How is your social credit system? I've just ruined mine with this whole podcast today. But that's where we'll leave it. Thank you guys so much for being a part of it. Honestly, every time I do these and I see more people showing up and I see our numbers going up on this channel, it's YouTube Deadline Live TV. It inspires me to keep going and to keep working for you guys. And there's so many things I want to do that we're planning that could be really cool if you give me a chance. So that's all I ask for, is that you give me that chance. We're in a massive fundraising thing going on right now. I don't want to do a GoFundMe. Please don't make me do that. But if you support this show, I mean, throw in $9-10. jackblood@hotmail.com. jackblood@hotmail.com. You can use Zelle, Zelle, or PayPal. But that's what we use. Right now, I have, I'm going to say 20. I have 20 more shirts on the limited edition Pat Moriarty exclusive art shirts that we're doing. I'm going to make them when I get there. So once we sell 30, that's it. So I have about 20 more, I guess. Is that where we're at? I'll count, but it's close to 20 more. So I would get in right now if you want one of those. I think they're going to be collector's items at some point. Hopefully, if we do our job right, that's how it's going to be. $50 donation, and then we put you on a mailing list and some other stuff. We're not going to bother you or spam you or anything like that, but we're going to give you rights to exclusive stuff. We're about to do some business with advertisers, and we'll get you guys discounts for all that kind of stuff. You'll be basically founders. You basically be founders of this channel, the new improved version of our channel right here. So your blood donors, man, and all the love to you guys that can do this for us. jackblood@hotmail.com, PayPal or Zelle if you don't want to cut in PayPal. Zelle takes nothing. It goes from your bank to my bank, and I don't get that information, and you don't get mine, but it's very easy. You just use my email, jackblood@hotmail.com, for that, and I'll just keep doing these. I mean, as long as I have a place to live, as long as I can, have a computer, I'm going to keep doing them. I think they're getting better, but who knows? You guys tell me, because I have a lot of plans to make it better, and hopefully that's all working out. But much love to you guys, and where is it? Be bold. Mighty forces will come to your aid. And can you read that? It's backwards. It says, shine bright, you crazy diamonds. That's where we're at.